Welcome to Shadow Me Tarot. Happy 2023. And we have some amazing decks that just came out. I have been waiting for this one since November. They were like, it's coming out, it's coming out, it's coming out. And I don't know if they ran out of print, but this was one of those ones that was like, it's on the road. We're delivering it today. And then they're like, we're sorry, we can't deliver this until December 21st. And now it's January. I just got it today on January 3rd. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to open up all of these, but not in this video. We're going to do multiple videos. And I am going to start with this Wild Woman Rising, because that one I think comes out actually technically tomorrow. And I'm going to set these aside and we'll do those in the next video. So this is Wild Woman Rising, and I absolutely love Angi Sullins stuff. She also did Love Who You Are, which just came out in December. And let's see what else she did. Oh, and I love this one. She makes these are beautiful decks. They're just beautiful. So, and I really do like them. They're super positive, especially this one. It's very positive. Oh, I just totally messed up my decks. Sorry, you guys. Okay, there we go. Love Who You Are. I like that one. Okay, so, and it's actually, Love Who You Are is actually a really nice deck. I haven't had that much time to use it because I just got it. It just came out like in December. So, and I'm so late getting that video up too. That one is going up probably the day before this one. Or the same day. Anyways, this is Wild Woman Rising by Angi Sullins. It says, you've made your way to this deck, which means Wild Woman is alive in you. Use these 44 cards and a 104-page guidebook as a siren's cry to connect with her court her wisdom and conjure her presence as it lives in your own wildest nature. Though she has been trivialized and truncated, Wild Woman comes when called. May this deck be a battle cry and a peace song as it companions your courtship. In an era when so many are clamoring that the end is at hand, the truth is that the beginning is near. For there is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. It is your time. Rise, woman. All right, and this is printed by US Game Systems. Ooh, that's unique, especially for, I don't know, game systems to get a bag included. So it's kind of nice. That's an upgrade. She did good. Well done. You graduated. You get to pick more cool stuff in there. I like smaller boxes. I like the smaller box that she had with this deck. I like a box that is small. I'm okay, I guess, with these flip top boxes, but I kind of like, you know, the boxes with the finger things and you pull them off. Anyway, that's a me. But in any case, this is a much larger book. It's about the same size as the Love Who You Are book. And let's see what it has inside. Unmasking a Myth. When they want to control you, they do not come with shackles made of iron. They come instead with cages made of shame and story. Wow. Shame is a form of control, guys. It is toxic. And if you find it doing it to yourself or to someone else, you're being toxic. It's just like, unless you kill somebody, there's no reason for shame other than control and oppression. It's self-oppression. So don't oppress yourself or anyone else with shame. Okay, sorry. Like the one about the woman who earned crisis for her curiosity, so tempted by a life of wisdom and independence, she caused the downfall of all civilization. Good for her. Unmasking a Myth. Oh, there's more. There's pages of this. Okay. We're going to, oh my word. That's a lot. Okay, we're still going to do it. I'm in it. Women are dangerous is the shame story of Eve. They cannot be trusted and should not trust themselves. Give a woman free choice, and she'll eat the fruit, tempt the man, enrage the god. She'll destroy us all with her mad desire to know, to discover, to understand herself, her world, her maker. Give a woman any freedom, and she'll follow her curiosity. Shape her own story. Seek truth beyond the dictates of order and obedience. She will wreck your carefully controlled mandates, your reign of tightness. She will unmake your holy wars of right and wrong and infuse the realm with choice and instinct, empathy outranking rules, creativity eclipsing war, sovereignty subsuming blind servitude. When you want to know, like Eve, when you have a taste for truth and a hunger for wisdom, you have to question the stories, test the facts, rattle the cage. Who profits from you believing a lie? Who benefits because you believe you are both cause and curse? They have tried to burn you with their shame, strip you, violate you, shrink you, silence you. They could not break your phoenix spirit. Its fierce heat will melt old regimes and inflame a generation who will not settle for smallness, for submission, for shame. Sink yourself into the feathered red sleeve of your ancestors and rise. Woman, rise again, for you are Persephone's daughter, Lilith's lover, Eve's heir. Find the truth, eat the fruit, unmask the myth, let it burn. Ooh, that was powerful. I like that. Oh, you guys have to tell me what you think. All right, look at that. The very first card says, howl with fierceness. Wolves, like women, have been relegated to the danger side of wildlife. Both species are greatly misunderstood and often accused of menace, yet women, like wolves, possess a propensity for courage in the face of danger, strength in the quest for well-being, and loyalty to mate and tribe. When we are no longer willing to shame ourselves for our natural fierceness or condemn ourselves or others for the need to love and hunt and roam free, wild woman rises. There's no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. Okay, so the last thing to look at, I'm finding this more and more. And these PDF things, this is just a link to their website. You got to be careful sometimes, not this deck in particular, it's a brand new deck, but like sometimes when you see that on the boxes, that's a counterfeit deck and the artist doesn't get anything. But I'm noticing when they're putting it in the book, sometimes they have apps. Just saying. Keep a lookout, because I think that's going to start changing. We're going to see more of the books in their own like PDF format. Note from the author. So there are no spreads in this deck. Nope. No spreads. This is just purely almost intuitive. There's a brief introduction here. And I think the poem really said it all. Let's open up the cards. Let's take a look. We must take a look. All right, we've got gold foiled edges. She usually has gold foiled edges. She usually has a pretty nice card stock as well. And I'll go ahead and compare it to her other two cards. This seems thinner than her other cards, which I'm not mad at, because sometimes thinner cards, more and more are like easier to shuffle. And with the gilded edges, sometimes they're even easier to shuffle. Okay, so let's compare with the Hafiz one. This is about the same exact size. Oh my gosh, I could probably, almost shuffle them together. Almost. Howl with fierceness is number one. She looks fierce. She's beautiful. With the full moon behind her, right? It's like she's super powerful. I do get a whole lot of, maybe it's just the moon. I'm thinking shadow stuff because of the moon. But there's symbolism in the feather, and I don't know the symbolism for the feather. But as I get more, familiar with different decks, the nature decks, that's what it is. I like all the fantasy decks, and kind of learning the symbolism is going to come more from using more of my natural decks, my nature decks. Remember kindness. Oh, that's pretty. That's a pretty picture. 3, know yourself. I feel like she has a very much an Empress feel, just with all the greenery, very Mother Earth kind of thing happening. Restore balance. I feel like an old crone. She's an old crone, and she looks like she could turn into an owl, right? Or she's got like some sort of hedgehog on her. Maybe she's a hedgehog. She's got like a little spiky hedgehog on her head. But yeah, she looks like she could like turn into something that flies. Old crone is what comes to mind for me. It says take your place. I want to know what that means. Take your place. Number 5. To know we are part of the great circle of life is to know that our place in this world is unique and distinct. The divine feminine has created a sacred space for us as a big bear. As big as bear, as fierce as fox, as majestic as eagle. Claiming full ownership of our gifts is how we take up our rightful place. And when we take our rightful place with belonging and integrity, wild woman rises. This next one, heed your wisdom. We've got owls in here for inner truth. We've got some roses in here, which I associate with love, so I'm feeling compassion. Really wish I knew what feathers are. So I feel like there's a purity with feathers. There's messages or something with feathers. But let me know what feathers are for you in the comments if you don't mind taking the time. I appreciate it. But this says, heed your wisdom. Owls are the traditional messengers of wisdom and bring to us the powers of both inner and outer sight. Wisdom is not found in temples or universities, but in the sanctuary of the human soul. Through dreams, reflection, and contemplation, we court the messages that wish to impart their wisdom directly into our being. And when we listen deeply, wild woman rises. So cool. So Wild Woman Rises is the mantra for every single card. So it's kind of like good, bad, or indifferent. You are on the rise, woman. This says go beyond your limits. I don't want to like go without air. She's underwater. Just saying, I don't want to go without air. But that's cool. You go beyond your limits a little bit and get to see sea turtles and stuff like that. Engage compassion. I want to move these over so you guys can see the backs of these cards a little bit better. They're kind of like a blue, and they have like the faces of the moon on the back. So they are definitely darker than maybe her Love Yourself deck, or even this one here, the Hafiz deck there. But I really feel like I don't know, like the deepest feminine inner strength from this deck. I'm like, wow, I can have power. I can take that power. I am woman, wild woman, rise. All right, so engage in compassion. Even the fiercest warrior must keep compassion at the heart of their work, or their bravery becomes empty ego bravado. Dear, tender, and graceful among Earth's creatures, remind us that all beings are worth consideration. Their infinite grace gently calls us to move sharp-eared, sure-footed, and tender-hearted across the wilds of both inner and outer nature. When we hold ourselves to a standard of grace over perfection and mercy over judgment, Wild Woman rises. All right, and then we have practice flexibility. Bamboo is strong but flexible. It nourishes animals, contains medicinal properties, and is used to create fabrics. It is also strong enough to build housing and roads. Bamboo is the perfect symbol for what wild women strive for, being flexible enough to demonstrate both power and vulnerability. When a woman sets up camp at the crossroads, Wild Woman rises. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, we got prowl with confidence. Nice. There's a beauty in confidence, and one of the ways to embody it is to allow yourself to be fully seen exactly as you are. Though it may seem counterintuitive, what makes us vulnerable is often what gives us strength and vitality. If we allow our full truth to be known, what makes you different, weird, awkward, flawed, is what makes you most uniquely beautiful. Own and embody your vulnerability, then prowl through life knowing nothing can shame you if you already own it. When we claim all of ourselves, all blemishes and blunders, confidence arises from the center rather than from the surface, and wild woman rises. Release perfectionism. I feel like this is something that a lot of people need to hear. I think just something even everybody needs to hear. You can't speak butterfly language with caterpillar people, so stop trying so hard to please, persuade, and fit in. Have patience with all that's unresolved in your heart and seek out others who burn with the same need for transformation that you do. When we get up from the table where love is no longer being served and we seek out the place we are celebrated rather than tolerated, wild woman rises. Claim your sovereignty. Don't be afraid of your transformation. Release your old ideas and false beliefs as easily and naturally as a snake sheds its skin. Stand in the center of your life, even in the midst of change. Take up space without contorting or contracting to make other people more comfortable. Your heart is a sovereign nation. Only you can rule it. When we embody the power that was once denied us and which we once denied ourselves, we create self-dominion, and wild woman rises. Ooh, dang. All right, fight like a girl. Heck yeah. When it's time to take a stand, fight like a girl. A woman's heart in full bloom, willing to withstand the bite of thorns in order to free herself or another, is a force of nature. Whether your fight is for inner advocacy, to clear the path of old patterns, beliefs, or relationships that no longer serve you, or outer advocacy for cause you believe in, there's no power on earth like a loving heart willing to stand up and stand out. When we come to the fight with a vision for the highest good of all rather than an us versus them, we liberate our inner Shiro, she and hero, Shiro, and wild woman rises. I like this deck. I think this is pretty cool. And I really do like her stuff. Now we have Leap, which is a take action card. Embrace the internal mother. Often our best efforts at giving and receiving are demonstrated outside of ourselves. Without ever giving ourselves the same generosity, the internal mother knows that you belong and that you are worthy of unconditional support, kindness, and generosity. Listen to her. Let her spirit nurture you. When we cultivate her presence in our lives and take heed of her messages of worthiness, wild woman rises. Remember who you are. You're made of stardust and moonlight, seashells and stories. Don't let other people get you down. Seek wonder. Don't get bogged down by commitments is basically what the book is saying. Use your cunning. This is true. Foxes, like women, have deep cunning. The word cunning arrives from an older Middle English word ken, a range of knowledge or sight. Within a patriarchy, cunning women are thought of as conniving or shrewd. But wild woman understands that a woman who uses her cunning employs the deep internal sight and wide-range vision that leads her to building an authentic life, true to her own imaginings. When we excavate our deep knowing and trust its messages, wild woman rises. I like that so much. I think that's so cool, you guys. I feel like I'm dorking out so much. Okay, listen the world open. I'm like going to end up reading all 40 cards here. And I don't have that much time. Oh, I guess I do, but there's all these other decks to do. All right, so the bluebirds mean happiness to me. I'm feeling like inner joy, outer joy, good communication. Okay, to listen deeply is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves and each other. To listen isn't passive, it's an act of generosity and creativity that opens up a blossoming space inside the soul. Stop all distractions, slow way down, listen to what is around and inside you. When we listen to each other open, when we listen each other open, the way the sun listens the blossom into a lily, wild woman rises. Okay, so basically it's saying listen so people open up to you. Listen to the world open, but almost like the energy, like listen for the energy of people opening. So you have to listen so closely to everything that they say. 20, rise again. Let go of things that no longer serve you. This is about moving past fears. Protect your flow. A lot of Pisces energy there. It says we've been encouraged to dominate, fix, or change whatever is not working in our lives, and yet that requires force and exertion that become exhausting. When we opt for flow instead of force, we move with nature instead of against it, the way a river will bend itself around rocks and other obstacles, carving its own path with the power of its flow so you can move fluidly around difficulties in your life. When you allow yourself to flow toward what you most desire, while remaining fluid with surrender and acceptance, wild woman rises. All right. Roar. I feel like I've seen 3 different types of strength cards. So we've had a lion, a couple of lions, and now we have a jaguar. And it's even admitting this is another strength card. Strength isn't only about power, it's also about vulnerability, kindness, and forgiveness. It requires bravery to bare our souls as willing as we bare our teeth. It takes courage to say yes to what the heart longs for while saying no to what drains our energy, but no one is going to do it for you. The choice is yours to use your strength and use your voice to speak up about what matters, to howl, to pant, to roar with truth. When we engage this kind of badassery, when we stand up for ourselves and each other with fierce loving kindness, wild woman rises. Worship at the temple. Your body is a work of art, a divine temple, a sacred geometry. While religion may tell you that your body is a sin, and business may tell you that your body is a product, and science may tell you that your body is a machine, the truth will tell you that your body is a playground, a walking party celebrating the flower of life. Loving it is an act of rebellion, and when we lovingly rebel in the name of our magnificent body, wild woman rises. Dig deep is number 24. She has deep roots, they say, of the rising woman, roots that cannot possibly come from this earth alone. Through honeycomb and loam, sap and sunlight, and the rich, fertile soil of soul, we are connected to the world tree, the great source that pulses through all worlds, both seen and unseen. When we feel disconnected or disconcerted, our first step toward wholeness is tapping into our root source. When we connect inwardly to the source of life, wild woman rises. Remember your inner innocence, doing your inner child work. With this seahorse there, I'm feeling like soulmate vibes in this card, almost like the law of attraction, of attracting your soulmate. Your nature is innocent, pure, and beloved. When conflict arises and you are tempted to punish or condemn yourself, remember that at your core is an innocent soul who is worthy of every beautiful and lovely thing. Course correct. Hold your actions accountable, but hold your inner heart as precious. When we honor the pure heart we were born with, wild woman rises. Ooh, embrace the interior winter. A woman's creative life as well as her deep soul life follows cycles and rhythms, just as nature does. Not every season is marked by the rich blossoming of creativity. Some seasons are marked by fallow fields, barren lands, and a deep need to retreat. Right now, you're being invited to let go, allow, let the interior winter have its full season. When you gift the time to retreat in order to companion the spirit of rebirth, wild woman rises. 27, awaken. Now, there's a blackbird here on the top of her head, which always means truth to me. And there is a line in here that says truth seeking. I can't, it's too late. I have too many other decks, so I have to not read the whole book, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, 28. Remember your wings. Hawk is here to remind you of the wings on your psyche, your ability to fly your dreams, float your hopes, and soar through the experience life gives you, even while grounded, is firmly rooted in the back of your psyche. Your wings unfurl when you remember you are so much more than this one precious life. You are infinite, made in the image of the great creatrix. When we remember our divine origins, wild woman rises. Oh, I can't stop. I keep reading them all. All right, 29. Gather your loyalties. Aw, it's a goose and a gander in her hair. Oh, I feel like that's very much like a yin and yang. This really reminds me of like the High Priestess, this card. And being that it's the number 29 and it reduces down to the number, which reduces to 11, which reduces down to the number 2. I feel like this is very much an intuition card. And I would probably very much read this as almost like the High Priestess. But with the divine masculine and feminine counterpart, you could probably divine like relationship from that too. An intuitive relationship might be combined. Relationship with other people, and how you kind of like fit together. Soul family kind of stuff. Gather your loyalties. Anyway, that's what I'm getting from that one. So we'll intuit some of these. So I'm not reading everything. Create your own paradise. I love that the circle is right on her third eye there. And it is. The world is what we see and how we see it. So if we look for a beautiful world, we'll find a beautiful world. If we look for paradise in our own home, we'll find paradise in our own home, in our own relationships. Radiate true color. 31. I just feel like this is a card of like authenticity. In a world urging compliancy and sameness, popularity and conformity, carry your colors like a flag. Your ideas, your nature, your dreams, gifts, and voice are all one of a kind. The world won't know what it can't be without your original contribution. When we wave our colors, showing up as our true self in the world, we pass on a permission flag for others to do the same. And wild woman rises. Be tender. Be tender. Be gentle with yourself. Be softer with yourself. While you are a provider of the hearth and home to the humans, animals, and plants you share space with, you are also a dwelling place of spirit, the home to a soul. Go gently. Love fiercely. Melt softly. It is in your best interest to be very tender with yourself, for in that tenderness, wild woman rises. Rewild your spirit. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your life is to seek the wild, untamed places both out there in nature and in here in the psyche. Our most authentic encounters can be messy affairs without a prescribed path or even a known destination. But growth never comes from comfort or creativity from conformity. When we dare to explore our own wilderness, wild woman rises. Guard the inner child. Your inner child travels with you. She is as light as a feather, tender as a hug, and is the source of all magic, play, and creativity in your life. All the great inventions of our world came directly from the inner child. Airplanes, penicillin, the printing press, all were created because someone dared to ask, what if and why not? Going against all customary thought and convention, the inner child lives in possibilities and isn't afraid to fail in order to play with new ideas and inventions. When we allow the inner child to lead our potential, wild woman rises. Hold true to your vision. Only you know the sacredness of your vision, which means that you have to consult your inner guide for directions. Expect those directions to run counter to what others are doing. Stay the course. You can't blaze your own trail while following someone else's footsteps. No one can understand your vision as well as you can because it has been gifted to you in particular with your genius, gifts, vulnerabilities, and foibles. You are uniquely qualified for the job, so go for it. When we trailblaze in the name of authenticity, Wild Woman rises. I feel like Wild Woman rises at this point. It feels like it should be said at the end of every prayer, like Amen. It is the end of every prayer in this for these cards, though. Wild Woman rises. That raw intensity of who you are is very much what I feel kind of coming through, and owning that power of just that source energy that you're part of, that you are of. I don't know. 36. Believe in the impossible. Oh, I can't help myself. Okay, hummingbirds are flying jewels capable of outrageous winged feats. These aerodynamic wonders defy the odds of flight. These tiny powerhouses of possibility appear before you right now to remind that impossible things happen every day. Don't forget there are things in your life right now that you previously thought impossible. You are living a variety of circumstances right now that not too long ago were a dream, a goal, an ambition. You are growing in your next miracle this very minute. Let yourself believe it. When we loosen reality's tight constraints on possibility, our life expands with potential, and Wild Woman rises. 37. Champion peace. Your mind is a temple where peace yearns to be worshipped. It is easy to respond to war with war, especially within ourselves. One judgmental thought leads to another, and soon your mind is a battle zone. But peace and war cannot rule simultaneously. You get to choose who will rule the mind's temple. Right now, you're being invited to become an advocate of peace. When we choose love over fear and peace over war, Wild Woman rises. Gather your tribe. Number 38. They say your vibe attracts your tribe, and nothing brings them to you more swiftly than when you're willing to be clear about who you are and what you want. No more people-pleasing to make others happy. If you have to contort and compromise, they're not your people. When we allow and attract versus contort and demand, we gather the lost pieces of ourselves together, and Wild Woman rises. 39. Harvest the honey. Inside your veins is a wealth of healing. The honey runs deep, made from mistakes, hope, laughter, adventure, sorrow, dreams, disappointment, and forgiveness. To harvest the honey is to allow all experience to pollinate your wisdom and expand the hive of your heart. When we forgive ourselves and each other, practicing acceptance and love for our deepest stings, Wild Woman rises. Number 40, rest deep. Be easy with you. You are home to a soul, a breathing piece of the eternal magic. Just like the swan who glides over open waters, you can move with grace, but only when you gift yourself with quiet and ease. These come with rest. Allow yourself to have time just for you. When we create a safe place for solitude and stillness, Wild Woman rises. Ooh, reclaim your soul skin. Legend tells of the Selkie, a woman's seal, often seen off the coast of northern Scotland, who can shed her skin by moonlight and dance upon the earth. Fishermen were known to catch the seal-made skin in order to keep her pinned to the land, captured as bride, unable to return to her true skin and soul home. In the legend, you're living to reclaim your soul skin. is to let go of the good girl pelt you were raised to wear. Toss off all that no longer fits you and dive deep into the places where your soul feels most at home. The woman you are becoming will cost your relationships, spaces, comfort, security, and convenience, but choose her over everything. When we reclaim our authenticity, Wild Woman rises. Remember the little things. In a society that has you counting calories, pounds, money, and social media likes, be a rebel and count your blessings instead. Whether it's the gift of breath, the fur on a beloved beast child, a blooming flower on the roadside, or an unexpected call from a friend, celebrate the tiny miracles in your life. Mice are often ignored, living most of their life in hiding, and yet they are little wonders of nature, inviting you to marvel at what is often overlooked. Take stock in the wonders that surround you when we greet our lives with gratitude and celebrate all its many splendors as gifts given freely with our hearts swell with appreciation, and Wild Woman rises. Definitely remember the little things. That is an amazing lesson to just have gratitude for every little thing. And more things come to you to be grateful for. 43, tell your story. Grandmother Spider is known as the creator of the alphabet because she weaves messages within her silken web. She's sometimes credited as the original source of storytelling. Use her energy to tell your story. Not only will you free the truth from your throat, liberating your life in the process, you will also encourage others to do the same. When we share our stories, we pass along the heart-swelling knowledge, I am not alone, and Wild Woman rises. 44, laugh with life. Laugh at the funny things, laugh at the tragic things, laugh with all the things. Laughter is magic and medicine. And since we cannot predict nor control the events of our lives, we might as well take as much medicine with us on our journey. It's like a first aid kit for the soul, and its essence sweetens sour grapes into wine. When we keep a space in our hearts for laughter, we glimpse the invisible presence behind all things, and Wild Woman rises. Laugh with life. And that's the last card. And I almost read every single one of them, so thank you guys for sticking with me and kind of listening to all of those. I really like the book so far. So let's go ahead and we'll do like a little deck interview here. I'm going to zoom out. And I do like to shuffle like 6 times minimum. So you are welcome to fast forward through the shuffling. But I say 6 times and then I shuffle like 12. So you can shuffle through if you want. The cardstock, it's good cardstock. It is. I think she's using, it feels like the same cardstock for both of her other decks. There's a part of me that is like, I wish they were identical. I wish I could mix up all these decks. This very much feels like more of a shadow deck than the other two. But in a shadow as an embrace parts of yourself that are powerful that you've been told to squash, you know. I really like this deck. I think it's great. I really do. All right. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share too, guys. I appreciate you guys watching so much. In fact, we're getting really close to like an actual channel. I think you become an actual channel when you hit like 1,000 subscribers. And I'm like, it's 600 and I'm over 670. So thank you all so much for your support and your watching me and these cards. This one just fell out. It says claim your sovereignty. And I can't remember what that means, so we're going to look it up. It's number 12. Don't be afraid of your transformation. Release your old ideas and false beliefs as easily and naturally as a snake sheds its skin. It says, stand in the center of your life, even in the midst of change. Take up space without contorting or contracting to make other people more comfortable. Your heart is a sovereign nation, and only you can rule it. When we embody the power that was once denied us, and which we once denied ourselves, we create self-dominion, and a wild woman rises. All right. And on the bottom of the deck, it says know yourself, but I'm still kind of pre-shuffling. I wanted to read that one. I think somebody needed to hear that one. Because the cards aren't flexible yet. Okay. They still need to be shuffled. Like, I want them to stop flipping out of my hands in a way that, like, I feel in control of them. I think that's when I feel ready to. Oh, and that might be the way to do it. Ooh, 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 I think I found the way. This is the way this one has to be shuffled, is with pictures up for me. Because it just feels better. Hello, pretty deck. Hello, hello. Let's see if we can do it the other way now. No. No, I can't. I can't do it the other way. But I'm cool with it this way. It works this way pretty good. All right. All right. So, what personality does this deck have? What personality does this deck have? What personality does this deck have? Take your place. Number 5, take your place. Practice flexibility and rise again. And I did not memorize the book, so we're going to just read these. If I'm looking at the pictures themselves, I believe that she is just like, I feel like it's transformative. Take your place. To know we are part of the great circle of life is to know that our place in this world is unique and distinct. The divine feminine has created a sacred space for us, big as bear, or as big as bear, as fierce as fox, as majestic as eagle. Claiming full ownership of our gifts is how we take up our rightful place. And when we take our rightful place with belonging and integrity, wild woman, I just feel like this deck knows who she is, really, truly. She's a she. Practical flexibility. Bamboo is strong but flexible. It nourishes animals. Contains, so it's a sturdy foundation. This is a sturdy foundation. The garden to feed the soul is kind of what I'm getting in terms of the personality of this deck. And then rise again. I hope it doesn't. I mean, it can possess my body, I guess, and take over my life. I don't want that. No, but it says, rise, sister, and rise again. Do not let your past, your limitations, or your fear keep you from rising again and again. Like the ancient beetle, so sacred to the Egyptians, you will crawl and scratch your way through the dirt, but you will also rise and fly. Let go of what no longer serves you. Release the thoughts and habits that keep you from your inner lightness. For when we resurrect our hopes and align them with a new vision of ourselves and the world, a wild woman rises. So I just feel like the whole personality of this deck is just taking ownership of everything, of just yourself, taking your place, accepting who you are. So I feel like this deck is about self-acceptance. That's the personality of this deck, but in the most powerful way. Not just self-acceptance, like, yeah, I accept that I talk a lot, you know. No, it's like, I talk a lot and with purpose. That's completely different. So I kind of feel like that is the difference for this deck. Okay, let's move on. What is your strength? It's so strong already. What is your strength? Please give me one card. What is your strength? What is your strength? What is your strength? What is your strength? So we have Prowl with confidence. Leap, take action. Radiate your true color. Laugh with life. I'm just like embracing life, being confident in who you are, taking action, being completely authentic. And choose laughter over, whatever else. I don't remember the last one. The prowl with confidence, though, I like that one a lot. Proud. There is a beauty in confidence, and one of the ways to embody it is to allow yourself to be fully seen exactly as you are. Though it may seem counterintuitive, what makes us vulnerable is often what gives us strength and vitality. If we allow our full truth to be known, what makes you different, weird, awkward, flawed is what makes you most uniquely beautiful. Own and embody your vulnerability, and then prowl through life knowing nothing can shame you if you already own it. When we claim all of ourselves, all blemishes and blunders, confidence arises from the center rather than from the surface, and Wild Woman rises. And then I want to read the last one to you. Laugh at the funny things, laugh at the tragic things, laugh with all the things. Laughter is magic and medicine. And since we cannot predict nor control the events of our lives, we might as well take as much medicine with us on our journey. It's like a first aid kit for the soul, and its essence sweetens sour grapes into wine. When we keep a space in our heart for laughter, we glimpse the invisible presence behind all things, and Wild Woman rises. So I think that's very nice. I feel like not only are you going to be able to the strength of this deck is to love yourself, be confident in your own power, but also have a sense of humor, with yourself. What is your weakness? Oops, let's turn this over. What is your weakness? What is your weakness? I already know. I'm hoping that the card that says I can't do it for you pops out, because I saw that and I was like, oh, this is so gonna pop out for the weakness. What is your weakness? What is your weakness? What is your weakness? What is the Wild Woman Rising's weakness? What is the weakness of this deck? Heed your own wisdom. So the weakness of it is to heed your own wisdom. Let's see. Taking your own advice, meaning hearing the messages and taking your own advice. It can't do that for you. That's its weakness. Owls are the traditional messengers of wisdom and bring to us the powers of both inner and outer sight. Wisdom is not found in temples or universities, but in the sanctuary of the human soul. Through dreams, reflection, and contemplation, we court the messages that wish to impart their wisdom directly into our being. And when we listen deeply, Wild Woman rises. So if it's weak, this is its weakness, is heeding your wisdom. I don't feel like it can give you inner and outer sight. It can't give you inner and outer wisdom. It can't impart, this is right here. Through dreams, reflection, and contemplation, we court the messages that wish to impart their wisdom directly into our being. And I feel like it can't directly impart wisdom directly into our beings. And it doesn't speak. So how do we listen? I don't know. I don't really know how to really interpret that. What do you guys think? How do you interpret, like, heed your wisdom as a weakness, right? That for the card deck. And I just kind of feel like, I don't really know how to feel it. It's you're coming into your own. So maybe it's kind of like it's going to help you break old patterns, old habits. because it's going to maybe encourage you to act a different way, try something new. Okay, that's where I got. How will you help me to grow? How will you help me to grow? Seek wonder and hold true to your vision. Nice. I feel like it's just being confident in myself, trusting myself, enjoying my life, and trusting that I'm doing what I need to do to enjoy my life. When should I call on you for guidance? When should I call on you for guidance? I very much feel very much a shadow side of this deck, but gentle, so gentle. When should I call on you for guidance? When should I call on you for guidance? When I need to trust myself. The deck can't make me trust myself, but it can help me remember I can fly. That's I think the best way to work with this deck is to, remember, is when you need to remember that you can fly, that you can be or do anything. It's about raising that vibration and being in alignment and asking Source for exactly what you want. And then knowing it will come and being patient. I feel like this is a place to, it says harvest the honey, but these cards are a place to come and pull the beautiful lessons, gifts of our life, both the good and the bad, what we would deem good and bad, positive or negative, what we get to cultivate as a result of those obstacles and those lessons. What will our relationship be like? What will our relationship be like? Oh. Create your own paradise. Yay. So truly choosing my own life the way I want it to be. And telling my story. I like it. I think it's great. What do you guys think of this deck? I think these pictures are gorgeous. I love this author. I really, really do. I think she does a wonderful job. But let me know if you think, are you getting like a shadow vibe too? Do you feel like this is something that can kind of like shine a light on some of the deeper or darker kind of places? But I feel like it does, but in a very natural, like mud bath kind of way, right? Like, I've never taken a mud bath, but I imagine that it's warm. I hope it's so warm. That's it. I'm just thinking it's just kind of like, there's a warmth to shining a light on the things that make us vulnerable. Like that you're okay just as you are kind of vibe from this. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I can't wait to open up these other decks that just came out today too. Thanks so much and have a beautiful, blessed day.